Christians celebrate Hannukah as well. Well, here's the both yes and no about that. Hannukah, like most of our Christmas traditions, has absolutely nothing biblical to it. There's not a thing to Hannukah that's biblical, okay? Let me tell you what Hannukah is. Hannukah is a celebration of the Maccabean revolt of approximately 168 to 167 BC. Basically, what was happening in Israel in those days is that the Romans were what the Romans were. The temple had been desecrated. The society was in shambles. And there was a man who went into the temple, the Jewish temple, and he offered a sacrifice on the altar of a pig. Anybody ever heard the statement of offering a pig on the altar? That's where it comes from. And it was in that point that the Israel people decided to revolt against this travesty, this blasphemy that had taken place. And if you understand, Hannukah means a celebration of lights. And the menorah that they light, the oil that they had in a physical or an observational perspective was only going to last one day. But we know it lasted many more. And that menorah is representative of the days that the oil lasted. It's a wonderful historical study of how the Lord moved and worked, but there's nothing biblical about it. In fact, what we know as Hannukah finds itself in a period. You know that one page between your Old and New Testament? You know that one page represents 400 years. 400 years from the prophecies of Malachi to what we know as the quote-unquote Christmas story. 400 years where God said, I'm not going to speak. So Hannukah is a wonderful celebration of God's providence, of God's sovereignty, but it's not a biblical tradition. It's not like Passover. I can understand, celebrating Passover because you think about Jesus being our Passover. I get the analogies there. Now, to celebrate Hannukah as an outreach or bridge to our Jewish friends, nothing wrong with that. But understand there's nothing biblical about what you're celebrating, if that makes sense. It's a nice tradition, so to speak, and it honors God's provision, but there's nothing biblical and there's nothing related to Christmas, if that makes any sense.
Thanks for being a part of today's Daily Question. Now, we answer a question each and every day. Please feel free to submit a new question at AskJeff.net. We may not have gotten to yours today, but we eventually will continue to be a part of this. Subscribe so you don't miss out on a question every day.